Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video will be a story time. I usually do my story times on my members only. So if you are interested in more story times, make sure you check out the members only. The royalty level is where I post all my other story times about Korea, working in Korea, dating in Korea, and all the above. So today's story time will be actually about working in Korea as a model. This was actually a thing that, like, a job that I had completely forgotten about, but something recently happened that I was like, snap, I did do that with that girl group member. Wait, that sounded terrible. I did that. I'm just gonna stop. But anyways guys, today's story time will be about being a fitting model for a Korean girl group member, and this girl group member is very famous. A fitting model in this instant was basically, she wasn't available for this day, so instead of her going to her fitting, I went to her fitting, got to try her clothes on, her jewelry on, her shoes on, blase blase. I'll explain more as the story goes on. I will not be saying the person's name. I will not be saying her entertainment company, because I always say this, I don't want to get sued. So I still work in this industry. I don't want to get sued, and I just don't want to be the one to put people's business out there like that. So no. So I will not be saying the girl. Remember, if you want to guess down in the comments below, guess. I will not be confirming or denying anybody's name. You guys can write a guy's name and I will not be like, no, it's not him. So let's get started with today's story time. So for the purpose of this video, we will be calling the girl group member Flowers, just because it's a random name. It's just basically a random name that I'm giving her. So back, I think this was actually probably in 2020 that I got this casting job, because I do remember it was a thing. Should not say that word on YouTube. I do remember Rona was a thing, so I think this was actually in 2020. I got a casting call for a fitting model. I don't really do fitting model jobs too often, just because one, the pay is not that good, and it's also just kind of like a tedious job to do. You're basically like a mannequin the whole time you're there. So I got this casting call to be a fitting model, and I was like, oh snap, that's kind of cool, because I've never really done a fitting job for an idol member before. So I was like, oh, that's cool, like put my name down. But I did know there was a very big possibility I was not gonna get this job, because number one, I am taller than most K-pop girl groups. I was like, I'm probably not gonna get the job, and also I am black, so blackity black, light skin, black, beige black. What song is that? It's like, is it Heated or Moved by Beyonce? I don't know. Anyway, so I was like, I'm probably not gonna get this job, but if I get it, great. If I don't, it doesn't change anything that I'm doing with my life. The day comes of when the fitting model job was happening, and it came, and I was like, okay, so it's clearly not me, because my agent hadn't like updated me about it. So I went out with my friends that day. We hanged out, and then I came back home. Girl, I took my wig off and everything, and then I got a call from one of my agents back then, and she's like, girl, what are you doing? She's my friend, so we don't talk like professionally, we just kind of talk like we're friends. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I just got home, literally just took my wig off, I'm about to take my makeup off. And she's like, can you help me out real quick? And I'm like, help you out with what? And she basically tells me that the girl who was actually doing the casting, the girl who was actually doing the fitting model job for this K-pop idol, the girl who was there at that moment, they were doing the fitting at that moment. She called me. She's like, she's way thinner than we expected her to be. That's why that girl, my agent at that time, called me and was like, I need your help. So I'm like, oh wow, she's really thin. Like, is it okay that I come? Because I don't have my wig on. My makeup has been a day old. Like, is it okay if I come? She's like, yeah, you can come. And I'm like, girl, there's no subway at this time, actually, because it was almost midnight at this time, and usually by midnight all subways in Korea are dunzos, they're closed. And she's like, don't worry, I'll pay for your taxi, just come ASAP. Like, we need you like yesteryear, right? So I was like, okay. I get on the taxi, I get to the building that I was supposed to be going to, and I'm like, hey, yo, this is an entertainment company that I used to love in middle school and high school. Like, I love this entertainment company. Like, they were like, I was obsessed back in the day, right? So I'm like, oh my god, look how far I've gotten. Like, I'm already coming into this building. Like, what? Like, this was a building that when I went to study abroad in Yonsei, like, we literally passed by their building when we did like a K-pop tour with the study abroad group. Don't ask. I entered the building and she's explaining to me the situation. She's like, you're actually gonna be fitting for Flowers. I almost said her name. I almost said her name. She's like, you're gonna be fitting for flowers. She's doing a campaign shoot for a jewelry brand suit, and they just need you to try on the clothes because your proportions kind of match hers. Now, I do have to say I am taller than Flowers. My bust and my waist are very similar to hers, but my hips are nowhere similar to this girl's. My hips are definitely a little on the thicker side because y'all have seen how K-pop girls look. They don't really got a booty like that. I'm not even trying to be shady, but they don't really, the cakes are not caking, you know what I mean? So I have like a little cupcake going on. I have more like a cake pop. I have like a little cake pop in the back of my booty. So my hips were bigger than hers. So we get into the conference room and it's like everyone from this K-pop girl group's styling team was there. The stylist, the makeup artist, it was like a bunch of stylists actually. It was not just one. And I think maybe I don't know, there was just a bunch of girls in there, and they were all girls. There were no guys in there. And then there was the jewelry was set on the table, and there were a bunch of clothes on the side and a bunch of shoes. And I get in there and they're like, oh, can you please change? Like you could tell they were visibly like pali 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 pali, because they were like so behind. They couldn't have done anything because the girl was there before. They didn't get anything done with her. They were actually doing a Zoom call, and it was a team from, I believe it's Italy or somewhere in Europe. A language that I do not really know that well, because it's not French and it's not German, because I know those two languages pretty well. For the sake of this video, I'll say it was a team from Italy, okay? So there was like a bunch of people on the big projector, and you could see like everyone who was in the meeting. And the person on the biggest screen was probably the person who was the leader or the creator of the jewelry brand or something. I don't know, whatever. They were using a laptop to show the people on the Zoom call what's going on. So they had actually turned their laptop around so nobody could see me. Nobody had known that I walked into the conference room. So I walk in, I change into the first outfit. They put the jewelry on. You are a fitting model. You are a doll. You just stand there and they move around you. You're just standing there like this, literally, like with your hands like this, and they're moving around you, fixing everything. You don't fix anything. You don't speak. You don't speak unless you're spoken to, basically. You're just standing there, right? So they fix everything, and that girl goes to get the laptop. She gets the laptop, she turns it to me, and basically everyone who's on the Zoom call can now see that I'm there, right? And the first thing that comes out of this Muzungu's face is, why is there a black girl there? He is lucky I was raised well by my parents, because I was like, sir, you lucky I'm here. So I didn't say anything, but I was visibly annoyed. I remember when the stylist was fixing my clothes, she was like, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, girl, it's okay. I literally said it exactly like that. I was like, girl, it's okay. Like, you could tell I was pissed. And I looked at my manager and I was like, my guy, I am the only one who can come here. Huh? And the way he said it, it wasn't like, why is there a black girl there? It was more like, why is there a black girl there? Like, it was just a very like ugh type of tone, which I didn't like. Like, I know microaggressions when I hear a microaggression, right? That happened, that passed. In my head, I was also like, Flowers team should have told them that I was coming, because obviously I am not Korean. Sorry, I almost called that Flowers team real quick. They did then explain to the director of the jewelry brand, this Italian man or whatever man, to this Muzungu basically, and they were like, oh, actually she's the only one who's available. It's currently midnight in Korea. No one is available except her, and her body proportions are very similar. So yeah, this is where we stand right now. And he's like, okay, let's just try the clothes on. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, y'all don't got a choice. I'm here. It's only me. And if you don't want me, tell me, I can leave. This is my sleep time, actually. It's midnight. I want to go night-night. He does it. We all did it. Tried the outfits on. I tried the jewelry on. And when I was trying the jewelry on, I felt so luxurious. These were like literally pieces that you see on the runway that you don't even see in their stores. Like, that's the type of pieces that were there. So I'm trying the jewelry on. And side note, they were so strict about the jewelry. Like, literally before leaving to go to a bathroom, to go get anything outside of that room, they were like, make sure you do not leave this room with any of the jewelry on you. Make sure you don't leave with anything, because if you leave with anything, we get in trouble and you get in trouble too. Every time they put something on me, they would note down that they put it on the model. They'll be like, okay, here she goes. First earring on. There you go. Other earring, check. Okay. And they would like then be like, okay. Basically all of that happened. I tried the clothes on. They tried the jewelry on. And not gonna lie, it made no sense for me to try the jewelry because we don't have the same skin tone. Like, gold shines on darker skin, but on non-darker skin, it's not the same, you know what I mean? Jewelry is not the same on different skin tones, right? So it didn't really make any sense, but they just wanted to see the clothes and the jewelry, how it looked together. It was not really a thing about skin tone or anything, but basically that's what happened. It was also really interesting to see how they organized every single detail of the shoot. They literally had her hair artist there, her makeup artist there. They had the slides showing this is how we would like her hair to look like. This is how the second makeup look is gonna look like. It needs to be like this. And the little, like the Italian man who was, I don't know what he was, but you can definitely tell he was the most important person in that call because everybody was just kissing booty. So you could tell he was the most important person. But everybody would always be like, what do you think? What are we gonna call him? What do you think, Popcorn? Like, they would just be like, Popcorn, does this look fine? Popcorn, is that fine? Popcorn, are you sure? Popcorn. And then Popcorn is like, no, I don't like that outfit. No, that hair needs to be like this. Actually, ask Flowers what she thinks. So it also really seemed like they actually valued Flowers' opinion a lot, where usually beginner K-pop idols, they don't care what you think, but because this was a very famous K-pop girl group, they really valued what Flowers thinks. So they would always be like, make sure Flowers is okay with doing this hairstyle, make sure Flowers feels comfortable wearing these clothes. And I felt like I was like actually pleasantly surprised, because I was like, that's really nice, because now you know they're not doing something they don't want to do. Like, they actually have a say in what they're doing. At least for Flowers in that shoot. I think she had a say in what she was doing and wearing. Anyways, that was my experience. It was really odd. The team for Flowers' team was very nice to me. I had absolutely zero problems with them. It was an interesting experience, but it was also tiring because I just stood there the whole time as they fixed clothing on me, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm actually tired. And they're like, it's like 1 a.m. and I'm still there, and I'm like, I'm so tired. Oh my god, I want to go to sleep. I just wish that Mzungu didn't say what he said, because that did get him, like, it got me heated a little bit, and I honestly thought about leaving. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about leaving, but I am professional, and it is a job that is usually thankless, and especially as a black model in especially Korea, there's always certain remarks that you hear that you're like, that's kind of rude. Like, side story, when I shoot in Korea and I go on set and anybody calls me black model and not my name, that instantly pisses me off, because you knew I was gonna come here. You knew I was gonna be here. You could have at least learned my name. That whole like, 흑인 모델 이제 와도 돼요? I'm like, you gonna call me my name today? But that's another thing that I really don't like working in Korea. It's like they call you by your race instead of your name, which is quite annoying, because I'm pretty sure, actually maybe that's the same in Europe, because I've heard some really terrible things about Europe too. It was a really interesting experience. Like, I got to live my little middle school / high school like dream of like actually going to the building one day. To be honest, it wasn't as exciting because I am like an adult now, and it's like, K-pop is dead to me. Everything just sounds the same, to be honest. Like, if it's not Afrobeats, I'm really not there. But it was still a really interesting experience. Also, I am actually in the new 6 of music video. I will leave their link down below. Go and find you, girl. That was another interesting experience, and that experience story time is actually in my membership. So if you are interested in seeing the behind the scenes story about working with 6 and how that day was for me, make sure you check out the members only, where I talked about that day. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, click the bell down below so you can get notifications for when I post. For when I post. Notification gang, what's up? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Je wasikia ninapokuombe